Imagine getting that call as a law enforcement officer, knowing that your child or your wife is in the school. I can't even imagine the wherewithal it takes to keep your head straight and let your training and not purely emotions remain front and center. And not just that, even if your loved ones aren't inside, these law enforcement officials will now be haunted by the horrific sight of these beautiful children bloodied and lying dead or in agony on the ground. First and foremost, of course, I feel for those parents and the brothers and the sisters. I can't imagine. But in a society that often seems to want to vilify law enforcement, remember that they put their bodies and lives between a crazed gunman and a room full of 9- and 10-year-old children. Border Patrol agents aren't supposed to do this kind of work, but they did it, just because that's what they do. Along with local police, school police, sheriff's deputies, county constables, state police, they stepped up when they were needed. And now many of them will never be the same. Joining me now is retired Tulsa Police Lieutenant Sean Larkin and retired Greenville, South Carolina Sheriff's Deputy Chad Ayers, who now teaches active shooter training. Thanks to both of you for coming on the show. All right, Sean, let me start with you. What kind of toll do you think that this takes on someone when it happens? All these things happen locally. People forget that sometimes, that the officers live in these areas where these incidents occur. Talk to us about the personal nature of something like this happening.
Yeah, Dan, it's a tremendous impact on us. You know, I was a police officer almost 25 years, and during my career, you see a lot of things. You see how horrible humans can be to one another. You see a lot of carnage. And the one thing throughout my entire career, I've still talked about it post my career, was seeing a child that was hurt. That's the one thing that stuck with me, through my career, that I had to go get counseling for. And I want to give some credit. There's an LAPD sergeant by the name of Joel who uses an Instagram handle, LA50, and he constantly posts things about law enforcement related issues that go on in the country. And today he posted one, and I reached out and spoke to him about it. And it talked about the bravery that police officers are recognized for running towards the gunfire like the guys did here at this incident. But the bravest thing that police officers deal with, or that they are, is because of what they see through their eyes and their ability to still live, through that and show up to work day in and day out, having to deal with it. I mean, it is a tough, tough job, and things like this just break you down.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the counseling you had to go through once you saw something like this?
Yeah, listen, I came on the police department in 1997, and I think that time period was kind of at the end where it was frowned down upon, to seek help for some of the things you deal with in this job. There's a reason why law enforcement officers have a shorter lifespan than the general public. And I think it's like 22 years difference for a male in law enforcement compared to the general public on how long we live. This job is hard on us, physically, mentally, emotionally, and things like that. During my time, we had peer-to-peer counseling that was developed. We have psych services through the city of Tulsa. It's there for marriage counseling, alcohol problems, things like that, or even these type of scenarios. And I know in Tulsa, anytime an officer, they themselves are involved in a shooting, the death of a child, a fatality car accident that they show up on, somebody contacts them to say, hey, are you good? What can we do for you? How can we help you through this?
I hope I wasn't prying there, Sean. It's just that, I think that this is, this is important. Chad, you're now training on active shooter situations, and obviously we always talk about this from the perspective of citizens, et cetera, but now talk about it from the perspective post an active shooting situation for the officers involved.
As you were playing the videos just a second ago, Dan, those officers did exactly what they were trained to do, and you kept going over it. They were running. There's video footage of them running to the sound of gunfire. And like we just talked about, these guys are stepping into a room in a gun battle and then rendering aid and treatment to 19 little elementary school kids. And Sean hit it right on the head. The two things that really have stuck with me in my career was two car accidents where children were mortally wounded in it. And that's the stuff that sticks with you. And so I can't say enough that reaching out for help, having, post-critical incident seminars and being able to take that badge off and that uniform off at the end of the day and saying, look, at the end of the day, I'm still a human, and we all grieve and handle the same way.
And you know, and now imagine, let me compound that with the fact that a lot of these Border Patrol and people who are not supposed to be doing this kind of work are racing over there, and their own family members are in there. I mean, you know, this is how personal this must be getting. I say must be, obviously is, for these officers involved, Chad.
That's what I can't fathom. It's one thing going to a call on a scene or an active shooter event on another side of town, but these guys are in their patrol car. That radio call goes out that there's an active shooter event. I literally can't imagine what that feels like, hearing, oh my God, I'm going to my child's school or my next door neighbor's school, and running in there saying, you're going in there to do a job to stop the killing, and then at the same time in the back of your mind you're going, my God, where's my child? Is my kid okay?
All right, Chad Ayers, thank you. Sean will check in with you later in the show. Coming up. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.